Om Shanti. This song in the Murli today is You Are the Mother and Father. In Bharat, we have been singing Tumi ho Mata, Pita Tumi ho Bandhu, Sakha Tumhi ho. So we always call out to God and say that you are my mother, father, teacher, guide, friend, everything. Now, we understand that as human beings, we have physical mother, father, brother, sister, friend, guide, teacher, everything. But then we have been calling out to the Supreme Soul, Shiv Baba, that you are my mother, father, teacher, Satguru. And the soul has been calling out to Shiv Baba that you are my all relations I have with you. Now Baba says that you kept calling out to me, and in theory you accept that I am your everything. But now I have come and I have adopted you through the body of Brahma Baba. And I, your father, teacher and Satguru. So Baba says you have all relations with me, but you have to first have firm faith that Baba is my father, teacher and Satguru. And it is called the father's advice, the teacher's teachings, and the Satguru's directions, farman, that which cannot be overruled or cannot be ignored. So Baba says, when you have firm faith that I am your father, teacher and Satguru, and you are a soul, then you will have regard and value for my teachings, directions and advice. And the law says you will receive as you do. Yes, jo karega so paega. Now, if I have firm faith in Baba's directions, if I have firm faith that Baba is my father, teacher, Satguru, then that faith will give me the power to do what Baba says. Because faith makes you act. Faith is a very interesting thing. Faith decreases the time you waste in calculating whether what the other person is saying is right or wrong. Faith makes you act immediately. And then when you have faith that this is my Baba, this is the Supreme Teacher, this is the Satguru, then Baba says you will immediately act upon what I say. And you will follow my directions and you will pay heed to my advice. And when you do that, then you will receive the kingdom of heaven. But the thing is, whether you have faith that I, the Supreme Soul for whom you have been singing, you are the Father, Teacher, Satguru, that one has come, and through the Murli, he is the one giving me guidance about how to create a fortune and a future. So how many of you have that faith that the Murli is spoken by the Supreme Father, Teacher and Sadguru. Okay. I will tell you one thing. So there was this one brother and he told me that, you know, some sisters get surrendered into the yajna very early, like they are 18 or 19 or 17 or 16 years of age. And then he said, you know, probably they are not wise enough to choose what they are choosing. So it is better that, you know, we have a slab, you know, like you cannot join as a surrendered sister before 25 or 27, or he had his own ideas. So he said that, you know, 18 years is like, even for marriage, 18 years is recommended. So it should at least be 18 years. And then I told him, so you see that when you're making the wrong choice, you need a cautionary note. So when you're getting married to a human, probably, you know, the government should stop you from making a decision until you are 18, because that decision can go wrong. But when you belong to Baba, there is no right time and right age, because it's the right decision. And if you've taken the right decision at an early time, better for you, na? So, you know, even if you have less understanding, even if you don't know what you're doing, let's say you don't understand what you're doing, what you're stepping into, but inadvertently also you're doing the right thing. So why should someone stop you from doing the right thing inadvertently? So I said, you know, sometimes faith is better than experience and logic, because that faith has made you, so, you know, it is both ways. So if your destiny is on your side, then you automatically have faith in the right one and you do the right thing inadvertently. And if destiny is not on your side, then you sometimes have faith in the wrong one and then you do the wrong thing inadvertently. So that also happens. But then in Baba's case, so faith is very important, and Baba says that when you have faith that this is my Baba, teacher and Sadguru, then you take every teaching of him as a dictate, you know, as his direction, and you do it. And that is how you create your fortune. And today Baba says that when you have faith and belong to me, so Baba teaches us a sauda today, a deal. So there is a deal that we strike with Baba. So the deal is, you become those with surrendered intellects and say to the Father, Baba, I belong to you. This body, mind and wealth are all yours. So if you have faith and you make this part of the deal, that I belong to you, Baba, this body, mind and wealth are all yours, Baba will then say, children, the sovereignty of heaven is yours. This is the deal you make, but you must have an honest heart. It's not like you say, Baba, my body, mind and wealth is yours, and then you keep doing activities with your body, mind and wealth that Baba doesn't approve of. So that's not how you strike the deal. So when it is Baba's, then it has to be used according to Baba's Srimad. So Baba says, an honest heart is needed for this. You also have to have firm faith, and you have to give your true accounts to the Father. So you must give your true account of your body, your mind, and your wealth. So this is the field of action, and all day we are doing karma, karma of the mind, karma of the body, and karma of wealth. So Baba says, you must give your true account to the Father of what you have and how you're using it. Okay, so this is what Baba is talking about today. And let me read out something which I found very thought-provoking today. Baba says, you were deities and you have become devils. Due to the entry of Ravan, you fell onto the path of sin. You became vicious and corruption began. Now, what is corruption? So you see that in Satyug, we had a body, we had a mind, and we had wealth, right? And in Satyug, we did not have lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. And we did not have a sense of ownership over the body, mind, and wealth. And we did not abuse them, right? We just used it for the right purpose. Now, let's calculate. Did we use our body for sensual pleasure in Satyug? No. We did not need to engage in sensual pleasure because there was super sensuous joy of the soul. The soul was capable of ati indriya sukh, super sensuous joy, a spiritual state of bliss which was irrespective of the senses of the body. So Baba says in Satyug there was no corruption. Now what is corruption? Now you see, there was one brother and he asked me, why do you say that wealth creates karma? So he once asked me, why do you say that? I understand that, karma is created when I think or when I talk, but why wealth is connected to karma? So I said, you know that in the world they say financial corruption. So you can do corruption through wealth, right? Yes. So when there can be financial corruption and you can go to jail for financial corruption, then obviously karma is created through wealth. Otherwise, why would you end up in jail for financial corruption? It's just money. You're not killing anybody, you are not slapping anybody, you're not hurting anybody. Then why do you end up in jail because of financial corruption? Because karma is created through finance, through wealth. So karma is done through the body, mind, and wealth. And in Satyug, the karma that we did through the body did not include lustful acts or acts of attachment in relationships. So no karma, no sensual pleasure was received through the body. And these days, you see, every organ of the body is abused for sensual pleasure. So you are smoking through the nose and smoking through the mouth and engaging all your senses through. And you are devouring everything through the eyes, and then your eyes are having dryness and they are aching and this and that, and then your ears have gone deaf by using that earphone because you want to listen to every possible music and everything in the world. So this is the physical corruption, the length of physical corruption. And then you want every taste bud to taste every possible taste in the world, and then you are using your whole body to experience sensual pleasure, and sensual pleasure also has no limits these days. So Baba says that all this did not exist in Satyug. So the soul lived in the body just like a deity lives in a temple. So this was your temple and you kept it clean, that's it. So that was Satyug. And then all this corruption began later. What is corruption? Corruption is a very interesting phenomena. When you use something or you abuse something because by not putting it to the use it is meant to be put to. That is corruption. And then you see this body was meant to, these eyes, this whole action through the body, karma through the body was meant to give happiness to everybody. But then we stopped that and we started making body an input unit where you just took sensual pleasure from the world through the body. And then the mind. So did the mind overthink and think thoughts of criticism and anger and this and that, or you were body conscious and judgmental in Satyug? Would Sri Krishna have an opinion about the dress that Sri Radhe was wearing in Satyug? Whether I like it or not like it. So we don't have judgment, we don't have any criticism, we don't have any such feelings of, us and them, or that this is good or bad. We didn't have these feelings or no desires, and all these things were not there in the mind in Satyug. And the mind was meant to be free, the mind was meant to be loveful, peaceful, happy. And then wealth. So in Satyug, people didn't think that my wealth is mine and I have to just use it and multiply it so that I take benefit out of it. Wealth was wealth, and wealth was a resource, and wealth was put to use to create goods and resources that benefit humanity. So there was no ownership, no sense of ownership over wealth, and there was no sense of this has to be just used for my selfish motive. And then slowly, gradually, when Ravan came, it all started getting corrupt. And this corruption started with this sense of I and mine. And yesterday, Mama was talking about this miness in everything. And this my is the root cause of every corruption. So you think that it is mine and then I can use it whimsically. I can use it according to my desires, according to my urges. But Baba says, no, this body, mind and wealth is given to you in trust. You cannot abuse it according to your wishes and your whims. And when you do corruption, so what does corruption make you do? It makes you incur a debt. So it makes you incur a negative karmic account. So when we started using the body, mind and wealth according to Ravan Mat, according to the dictates of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, we started getting trapped because we were performing these acts of corruption. And then Baba comes and Baba is liberating us from these clutches of our own corrupt acts. So now we have performed 2500 years of corruption and we are totally in jail. So we are in Ravan's jail where we cannot feel happy or peaceful without another corrupt act. Yes, and then Baba is teaching us the method to liberate us out of this jail. And then Baba says, use your body, mind and wealth according to my directions. So in today's Murli, Baba says, you have to first have faith that I am that Father, Teacher and Satguru who is going to liberate you from Ravan Rajya, and you have to belong to me and surrender to me and do that which I ask you to do with your body, mind and wealth. And then Baba says, first things first, I do not tell you to leave your children. They are your creation, you have to take care of them. But Baba says, you have to be a Karam Yog Sannyasi, which means you do your karma for your children, for the family, but your buddhi should have no attachment. Because attachment is not the original design. So that's not how we were designed to behave. So Baba says, take care of the children, but like a trustee. So without attachment. And Baba has told us that you have to live in the household like a lotus flower. So Baba says, in the household you will see, hear, do karma, cook, earn, eat, everything. But do everything with detachment. That is Srimat for the body. Yes. Then there is Srimat for the mouth, Shank Dwani. So Baba says, whatever you speak should be like the sound of a conch shell, very pure, very knowledgeful. And there is one thing which you can use to test whether what you're speaking is right or not. So just think about whether this will uplift the other one or not. So any word of yours should be uplifting, should be purifying, should be making the other person elevated. So Baba says, use your mouth like the conch shell. And then for the body, Baba says, do away with lust and anger. If there is any trace of lust and anger inside you, then you have to, that fire of lust and anger has to be extinguished with yoga power. Don't bring it into action. Even if you feel very angry, even if there are waves of lust, you have to sit with Baba and extinguish that fire. And you have to detect. So, the enemy has to be detected early. So you have to detect whenever there are such feelings, there are such thoughts. And you have to, again, know your stage. If you are getting these thoughts often, then you know that your stage is weak. Then you have to wake up early and meditate so that these feelings, these thoughts, they are, taken care of. And yoga power is enables you to rise above these feelings and thoughts. And if you perform karma of lust and anger through the body, then your body cannot be freed from the clutches of Ravan. So Baba says that This is why you see so much suffering happens through the body, because so much paap has been done through the body. In Satyug, we don't suffer through the body. The body gives us, the body is comfortable and a source of, happiness. It doesn't make you uncomfortable, or no suffering happens through the body, because right now Baba teaches us to do good karma through the body. So what I told you is refraining from impure karma through the body. But then there is good karma through the body also. So when you do yajna seva, you speak knowledge, you cook Brahma Bhojan, yes, you support the activities of Baba's task through the body, then that becomes a source of punya karma also. So this is Baba's directions for the body. Then there is Baba's directions for the mind. Baba says, be man mana bhav, be a Swadarshan Chakradhari. Always don't think about what others are doing or what's happening in the world. Think about how royal, how dignified, how elevated you are. What's your original quality? What were you like in Satyug? What were you like in the soul world? And just think about Swadarshan. So do this Swadarshan. So there are 3 words in Hindi: par darshan, par chintan, and par dosh. So don't look at others, don't think about others. Others means people and events both. And don't find faults in others. Par dosh. Stay away from these 3 things. Do you have pardosh, the sanskar of pardosh? So always somebody or the other is sitting in your buddhi, and their avgun is sitting in your buddhi. So that's the quickest way to make your mind dirty. So refrain from that. And Baba says, for that you keep reminding yourself who you are, who you belong to, what are your qualities, how dignified are you, what is your worth. So just think about this and remember Baba. And when you remember Baba, remember yourself as Baba's child, having the same qualities as Baba. So this is what you need to do through the mind. So Baba says, apart from necessary engagement of the mind, just do this with the mind. And this will purify the mind and finish that karmic burden which you are carrying by karma done through the mind. And then Baba says about wealth. So Baba says, you must use your wealth for yajna seva. Baba today says that even if somebody has nothing, even if they are not able to fend for their family, Baba would suggest that you donate 1 PESA. You give 1 PESA to yajna seva, because that is what will create your fortune of 21 births. And you see in bhakti also, so there are many people who say that, we believe in the Hindu Shastras and this and that, but nobody believes in the Hindu Shastras because they don't live by that. So even in Hinduism, or for that matter in every religion, there is a mention of how you should use a part of the money you earn for welfare and for dhan. So, in the Shastras, it is written that 1 part of your income income is divided into 5 parts according to the Shastra. And then they say 1 part for dhan. Okay, so this is according to the Shastra, not Srimad. Okay, so they say 1 part for dhan, that is for dharma. So you give it to the temple or something like that, according to the Shastra. And then second part for yash. So you do something which makes you a prominent member in the society. So, you help them build a tube well or something, so that they give you yash, so you become a celebrated member of the society. And then third, they say, is you invest a part of your wealth, the third part, to earn more wealth. Okay, so something has to be reinvested to earn more wealth. And then fourth part is to fulfill your needs and desires. And then the fifth part is for friends and family and children. So this is how they divide, this is how it is recommended in the Shastras. And Baba today says that even those who do daan in bhakti also, I give them a return of that daan. So somebody who builds a hospital in bhakti gets good health in the next birth. But Baba says that was what was in the past. But now I am here before you, and every single penny you invest in Yajna Seva will make you a king of heaven. So Baba says, don't feel that whatever you earn is yours. That wealth Baba has right on, and Baba says you have to use it for Yajna Seva. When Baba says if you have a lot, then help in the construction of centers, and you should take the responsibility of opening new centers, new places where this spiritual hospital and university work can go on, and so many souls will take benefit from these places. So Baba says, don't be miserly about your wealth, use it for seva. And Baba says, also keep something for troubled times. And Baba says, you must give your full account of body, mind and wealth, so that individual directions can be given. Because you see, everybody's earning, everybody's body, everybody's state of mind is different. So individual directions can be given if you give the full account about how and how much and how, what should be invested, what should be saved. And I remember there was this one sister who went to a country where most of the population was bankrupt. And the center there, nobody was contributing anything to the center also. And when she went there, there was this one brother taking care of the center, and she opened the fridge and there was just a little piece of cabbage and nothing else in the fridge. And then she called the students and she asked them, how many of you would like to give me your whole account of wealth and income and how you're using it and what's happening? So so some people agreed. So there were 3 women who agreed to do that. And when those accounts were submitted, that sister found out that these people spend more than they earn. So their expenditure is more than their income. So then obviously this is the state they are going to be in. And then that sister helped everybody create an account about how much to use for self-sustenance, how much to use for saving, because saving is also very important. Baba says you must save some part of your wealth also, because it will give you some respite in troubled times. And then some part has to be used for Yajna Seva, because that is what will give you the future income of 21 births. So then this sister gave a breakup, individual breakup of how much you should save and how much you should use in the Yajna Seva, and how much you should use for yourself and how much you should use for your children and family. And then within 6 months, their balance sheet changed. So she also suggested what to cut down on, because sometimes these small decisions people are not able to take for themselves. So Baba says that if somebody is unable to figure out what to do, then you can submit your full accounts and then Baba can give directions also. But Baba says, don't engage in any more corruption. You are a trustee of the body, the mind, the wealth. You have to serve through the body, mind and wealth, and you also have to refrain from doing any vikarma through the body, mind and wealth. And that is the only way. When you surrender to Baba, then Baba makes you the Prince of Heaven. So this is Baba's teaching today. And then Baba today tells us that in the slogan that those who finish any upheaval in their bodies and minds with the stage of soul consciousness remain unshakable and immovable. So Baba says that, if you just wish that the body and the mind would never go through any upheaval, that's not possible, because these are the times of upheaval. So there will be a lot of upheaval in the body and in the mind. Upheaval in the body means diseases. Upheaval in the mind means stress, fear, this, that. But what you have to do is, before times get more and more difficult, you build a stage of soul consciousness. And through that stage of soul consciousness, you, the soul, will be able to stay detached from the body and the mind. And even when there is an upheaval in the body and mind, you, the stable soul, stabilized in your stability of soul consciousness, will be able to give some stability to the mind and body. And in that sense, you will be able to create a stage where you are unshakable and immovable. But only when you have created this stage where I, the soul, am detached from the body and mind, you will be able to do this. Okay, so this is today's Murli. I would request you to go through it. It's very beautiful. Baba, the father, teacher and Satguru is speaking to us children. Om Shanti.